Holla!
Guess what?
It's time for your podcast for Chapter 11, Lesson 3, the Mayan Civilization. In this lesson, you guys are going to learn about the Maya, one of the most highly developed civilizations in all of Mesoamerica. As always, we've got vocabulary terms. Actually, there aren't too many this go round, but you are responsible for these vocabulary words: Maya, Stele, Pakal II, and Codex. Don't forget, when you hear this sound, you know you've heard a vocabulary term or word.
All right, guys, our big idea for the unit: civilizations across time and space share similar characteristics. And our first essential question: are we all more the same or different across continents?
Next essential question: how do people adapt to their environment and advance civilization?
What are the characteristics of a civilization?
How does geography influence the history of civilization?
And our final essential question: how do the roles of and responsibilities of nobles and commoners differ in ancient societies? Our first section we'll be reading or talking about is Birth of a Civilization. You can find this on page 380 in your textbook. The question you guys should be thinking about: where did the Mayan civilization arise? Today, the Maya live in southern Mexico, Guatemala, and northern Belize. Their culture can be traced back as far as 2000 BC. Around 1500 BC, the Maya began to establish villages. These villages were located in the highlands and lowlands of Mesoamerica. The highlands contained many minerals. In general, the highlands had a dry, cool climate.
The lowlands on the Yucatan Peninsula had a hot, dry climate. Hot, humid rainforests covered the lowlands further to the south. This area had fertile soil. Farming did very well in the Mayan lowlands. Because of this, the Maya were able to grow much food. And with more food, the Maya became healthier. As a result, their population grew, and in time, some Mayan farming villages grew into great cities. Should be able to answer this question: where did the Maya establish villages?
Our next section is titled Mayan Life. You can find this on pages 382 to 384 of your textbook. The question we want you guys to be thinking about: into what social classes was Mayan society divided? The Maya produced more than enough food. Because of this, some people can focus on tasks other than farming. Because some became craft workers. Others became priests or teachers. This division of labor resulted in the growth of a class system.
Okay, it kind of sounds a little bit like feudalism, sort of.
It
Okay,
does.
all right. So Mayan society was made up of 4 social classes. These were the ruling class, the nobility, peasants, and then slaves.
The ruling class was made up of kings and their families. These rulers also performed the religious duties of priests. A king governed each Mayan city. The nobility probably included scholars and merchants. They were educated and wealthy. Peasants included farmers and laborers. Most of the Maya were peasants. Slaves were mostly criminals and people captured in war.
Wow. Okay, Mayan farmers lived in small villages near the big cities. They lived in simple homes. Mayan farmers grew maize, beans, chili peppers, and cacao. Maize was the most important crop. The Maya believed that they had been created out of maize.
Mayan nobles led very different lives from the peasants. They wore fancy clothes and much jewelry. Nobles lived in houses built of stone. They also ate much better than the peasants.
The Maya worshipped more than 160 gods and goddesses. The main god was called Itzamna. The Maya believed this god created the world. To get help from the gods, the Maya often fasted, prayed, and offered sacrifices. Most of these sacrifices were animals. The Maya also offered their own blood as a sacrifice. Occasionally, the Maya made human sacrifices as well. The Maya expected their rulers to communicate with the gods on their behalf.
The Maya had many religious festivals and ceremonies. One important ceremony was a ball game. It was performed in a large ball court. The ball game may have been played to honor great Mayan heroes, or was played to reenact important events from Mayan history. Sometimes it was just a sporting competition. The question you guys should be able to answer right now: what were the 4 classes that made up Mayan society?
Okay, the last section for this podcast is called Glory and Decline. You can find this information on pages 384 and 386 in your history book. Be thinking about this as you listen along. What developments did the Maya achieve during their classical period? The Maya reached their peak roughly during the years between AD 250 and 900.
The Maya built more than 40 cities. Each Mayan city contained pyramids with temples on top of them. Many of them also had steles. The Maya carved glyphs on these large stone monuments. The glyphs represented important dates and events.
A king governed each Mayan city and the surrounding areas. One of the greatest Mayan kings was Tikal II. He ruled the city of Tikal. Sometimes cities fought each other. The winners gained political and economic advantages. The Maya developed a complex writing system. This system used glyphs. The Maya carved glyphs on buildings. They also wrote them on bark paper. This paper was screen folded to form a type of a book called a codex. Few of these books still exist. The most famous is the Popol Vuh. It is the Mayan story of the creation.
The Maya developed a mathematical system based on the number 20. Also, the Maya were one of the first people to use zero. By using their math system, the Maya made great advances in astronomy. The Maya also produced a very accurate calendar system.
All right, and we're going to do a really cool activity, you guys, that's all about the Maya calendar, probably tomorrow or the next day. All right, and then beginning in the 800s, the Maya began to leave their cities in the southern lowlands. At the same time, their population declined sharply. The reasons for these events remain a mystery. And by the 1400s, the Maya had left all of their cities. Last question for you to consider, you guys, is what advances did the Maya achieve in record keeping?
Just a reminder, you guys are going to have a podcast quiz coming up. The terms are Maya, Stele, Pascal II, and Codex. All right, guys, take care.
Sleep well.